She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Welcome to another episode of Clean Your Dating Habits Up. It is your host, Arthur China T, Coach Erica, and this channel is all about cleaning up old dating habits that haven't gotten you nowhere fast while you picked up speed just to crash and burn. Y'all know how I am. But been on this journey, we're set to learn how to properly roster date or date one man at a time if you're still doing that. Sis, you got to know what tools you need to use more often to get the results that you want and the results that you need. It is so many different things that y'all should be using while you're dating, whether roster dating or dating one person, as long as you're casually dating. If you're trying to get a certain type of results to move into serious dating, you got to be able to use your tools wisely. I've heard others discuss the differences in how men date versus how women date. And much to my dismay, many of you are still missing one factor that has worked for men for decades. Not only do men date what's familiar, they also utilize reverse psychology to get their intended results. That's why so many of y'all become ghosted, so many of y'all become baby mamas, and then so many of y'all resort to celibacy because you don't know that the men that you are dealing with was using reverse psychology or doing something that was familiar to them because it wasn't familiar to you. It's time that you level the playing field, just as we tend to do, while you never date just one person. So let's talk about reverse psychology and dating and how to keep the upper hand. Sis, let's be real. Men love a challenge. The second they feel like they got you, they start acting like you ain't even worth the effort no more. Y'all know that. That's why reverse psychology is going to be one of your best friends while you're dating. It works because men hate feeling controlled, but they love it. They hate it, but they love it. The moment they think they're being led, they want to go the opposite way. But when they think it's their idea, baby, them people be all in. And that's what reverse psychology does. So let's talk about it. Keep him wanting more by playing it cool. One of the biggest mistakes that women make is showing all of their cards too soon. And I keep telling y'all to pull back. You ever notice how the men you don't care about be the ones blowing up your phone? The people that's not your type? That's because they still feel like they got to work for your attention. The key is making every man feel that way, regardless of if it's your type or not, okay? They need to all be working for your attention. Here's an example. Instead of saying things like, I really like you, I hope we can be exclusive soon. Instead, change that sappy something up to something like this. You're cool and all, and I enjoy your company, but I'm really not trying to rush to lock anything down. I'm just seeing where things go, and I'm having fun. Now you talking. Instead of him feeling like he has you in a bag, he's going to be wondering why you're so unbothered and still ready to look at all your options. Watch how fast he starts stepping up to make you want to be exclusive. Okay. Another thing you need to do is flip the script on your emotional availability. When you flip the script on your emotional availability, you definitely keep things in an uproar. Some of y'all ladies are too available emotionally, and we got to pull back from that too. Men love playing that I'm not looking for anything serious card. But two can play that game, sis. Instead of getting your feelings, use that to your advantage. That's why I keep telling y'all got to have a roster. For example, if he says, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, I'm just trying to see what, be friends. Do not argue with that. There's no need for you to go back and forth. You're going to simply respond with good. Neither am I. Whoosh. Relationship require a lot of energy, and I'm just really enjoying being taken care of and spoiled without all that extra pressure. Now, instead of him thinking he has the upper hand, he's going to be wondering why you don't want any more from him, because that's going to be strange, especially with his track record of women always wanting more with him. And because men are wired to chase, he just might start doing things to prove he's worth locking down. Pay attention, sis. Let him think it's his idea to step up. So you don't even want to make it seem like you ever even brought that up. Instead of demanding more effort, sis, make it seem like he's the one who wants to do it without your help. Let me give you an example. Instead of calling out things like, you never planned dates for us. Boo, tomato. Instead, say things like, I love when a man take charge and surprise me. It's so sexy when a man knows exactly what he wants to do. Now he's taken aback. Instead of feeling nag, he's thinking like, damn, she sees me as a leader. I gotta step up. Now he's ready to step in that leadership role. And you know, leaders are providers and protectors. Okay? Make him feel like he is choosing you, not the other way around, sis. If you're waiting to be chosen, you're losing the game. Men get real lazy when they think they have you on lock, but they go hard for the women that they feel like they have to choose. So reverse psychology keeps him in that mindset. That's why it always works on you. So instead of saying things like, what are we doing? Where is this going? Boo. Stop asking questions like that. You're going to get answers you don't want. Instead, say, I love having options, but I'm also open to see who is willing to make my choice easy. Now he's got to decide if he wants to be the one to stand out. And if he does, I guarantee, sis, he'll be working overtime to make sure that you choose him out of these options you keep talking about, even if he's your only option. Shh. You don't need to know that. The bottom line, sis, always stay in the driver's seat, okay? Remember, this is your car, this is your script, this is your life. It's only going to go how you allow it. Reverse psychology is about letting a man think he's in control while you're the one pulling all the strings. Keep it playful, keep it light, and most importantly, sis, keep it moving if he ain't stepping up. Drop him down on that roster or get rid of him. When you master this, sis, you'll never be the one chasing again. That I can guarantee. And you'll never be the one waiting to be chosen. Now, on the flip side of using reverse psychology as one of the greatest tools of roster dating, y'all need to understand why women date for new experiences and men date for familiarity. So let me break this down, because once you understand this, sis, you'll stop expecting men to date like you and start playing the game smarter. Remember I told y'all about leveling the playing field? Y'all hear me say it a lot. Women and men move completely different when it comes to dating. And it all comes down to what you all are looking for. So let's break this down. Women usually date for growth, adventure, and elevation. Okay, we date to experience new things. We want to see different sides of ourselves. We want to feel different emotions, some of the emotions that we have never felt before. And we also want to be exposed to new lifestyles, mindsets, and possibilities. That's why a roster is so important, because each man on your roster will bring something different to the table. And as a woman, sis, we enjoy discovering what we like, what we don't like, what we need, what we don't need, and how different energies makes us feel. So here's an example of how women date for experiences. Let's talk about the luxury experience. A woman might date a man who introduces her to fine dining, traveling first class, and luxury shopping. Not just for the material things, but for the feeling of being pampered and valued on a different level. Okay. Then you have the intellectual experience. Another man might stimulate your mind, sis, challenge your perspectives, and introduce you to deep conversations, pushing your own personal growth, which a lot of us like. And then we have the spontaneous experience. You might have a guy on your roster, sis, who's all about excitement, random road trips, concerts, clubs, cruises, adventures that make you feel alive because they so spontaneous and sometimes they spur the moment. So women, we seek variety because we understand that every man serves a different purpose. One man can't be everything, and trying to make him be that is where a lot of us get frustrated and we lose. The reason why you need a roster until you find that one man who has all of the components that make you see exactly what you've been missing. Now, men date for comfort and what feels familiar. They don't typically date for new experiences. They date for what they already know and they already understand. So they're going to gravitate towards women who fit in that routine, their comfort zone, and their past patterns. And that's usually those friends that turn into lovers real quick. That's why some men keep women best friends. That's familiar to them. Okay. So examples of how men date with familiarity: the ex syndrome. Every wonder why men love spinning back the block and going back to their exes? That's because it's comfortable over there. He doesn't have to relearn a new woman, figure out what makes her tick, or what impresses her. He already knows the blueprint of an ex. If y'all wonder why they keep going back to that swinging door, it's familiar. Then you have the low maintenance factor. Some men are more likely to stick to women who don't challenge them to do too much. If he's used to a woman who lets him slide, doesn't require much effort, and she stroke his ego, he's going to stay in that type of space because that's familiar. You may be a different caliber, sis, and that's okay. Then you got the mama's boy dynamic. Some men seek out women who remind them of their mothers, and I don't want to ever be that. Women who will nurture them, tolerate their flaws, and make their life easier without requiring change. And I told y'all about stuff like that. I said for y'all to stop making somebody's life easier that isn't your husband. That's the only person whose life you need to be making easier. So now why this difference matters. This is why women often gets frustrated when y'all date. This is why, ladies, we expect men to be excited about growth, trying new things, and becoming better. But that's not what drives most of them. Most of them don't want to change unless they really have to. They will stay stagnant as who they have been because in their mind it's been working. This also explains why we as women will leave relationships that no longer serve us. While a man, and we talked about this before, they will stay in one because it is familiar. Unless he is pushed out the door, he will stay right there and be unhappy for as long as he's going to be unhappy. Women also want to level their man up, but sometimes men choose women who let them stay the same. That's why you shouldn't be so scared if you go back to his ex. She doesn't require him to do anything. And then women will get bored with predictable men, while a man will stay predictable because the women he's been dealing with are easy for him to deal with. If he wants to deal with women who make it easy for him, it's nothing that you're going to do, sis, that's going to wow him. So stop going above and beyond, overdoing, over communicating, over everything. You just might not be his speed. Now, how do you use this to your advantage, sis? Number one, stop expecting men to grow just because you're growing. Instead, look for men who are already at the level that you want to be at. Remember I told you about bringing you up to their level? Okay. Number two, never settle for familiarity just because he does it. Keep your experiences evolving with or without him. So if you're going to get this man that don't want to grow, just know you're going to be doing a lot of experiences by yourself and be comfortable with that. Another thing is to make a man work to be a part of your world, sis. The moment he starts feeling too comfortable, he's going to start slacking. You've seen it. You have those experiences. Rely on the things that you've already went through versus trying to see if it's going to be different. We tend to date for expansion, while men tend to date for comfort. The key is to making sure that you never shrink yourself to fit in his comfort zone. So if you're the woman who wants to experience those new things, as I've already said, find a man that's at the level that you want to come to, who's willing to pull you up to that level. You don't want to drop down levels to get to a man down here just because he doesn't like doing the things you like. He doesn't like experiences. He is not extrovert. He's an introvert. He's not outgoing. He likes to stay home. If this is not the type of person you are, why are you settling with men who are like that just to have somebody? Push that out the way, sis. In order for you to utilize roster dating or dating period to get to your goal, whatever your goal may be, you have got to get with people who are on your level and learn that reverse psychology will get you the results quicker than you think. All right, stay tuned for Feminine Fridays. This time we're going to be talking about self-care, and it's very important that every lady has a self-care routine so that she can in turn show others how she loves herself so that they can emulate that love and give it to her the same way. I'll see y'all then.